All right. This is conscious or crazy, man. Conscious, con science with knowledge. Or am I crazy, man? This is conscious said, man. Got a got a distant relative of the family, man. I have family members on the, I don't do guests. I have family members, distant relatives out here. You know what I'm saying? Definitely introduce yourself to the people, man. Cause I love your movement. I love your channel, man. I like what you're doing, man. So go ahead, introduce yourself to the people.
Man, universal frequencies. I go by universal, you know what I'm saying? And basically, what I do is be myself. Like my main thing is being an inspiration to understand ourselves to the fullest and tap into our own intuition and not necessarily be looking for it externally, and like I say upon my videos, I even had to make a disclaimer video because I know how subconsciously we're also programmed. And I've seen this happen to myself sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But like that preacher vibe or guru, I'm not anybody guru, I'm not, like I'm a student. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as I may seem like a teacher, I'm a student constantly. And again, it's not for you to depend on me, but to do your own thing. So that's kind of like the main thing I promote. And again, through working with crystals is one of the main things that came to me upon my growth. So, it resonated, so I connect with it. But that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like my little thing.
yeah. Definitely feel it, man. Cause sometimes people hit me for information, and sometimes I don't
Right.
have the answer, and like sometimes I don't. They catch me on the wrong days. Like, hey, say,
Right.
let me get back to you. Yeah, man. Man. So how did you get hip to crystal? Was that like, did that spark your journey? And I guess you could elaborate your journey to the people, and I can, you know, uh, dive in with you too.
So with the crystals, like I tell a lot of people, it's something I never grew up on crystals or knowing on anything about crystals. I somewhat, as you see me accessorizing and stuff like that, I always kind of had a vibe for accessories, in that sense, maybe a ring or some type of necklace. But
Yeah.
I never knew anything about crystals. My family never knew anything about this. So as I continued on my growth, I went through a dark night of the soul moment, and I was like just scraping for information on spirituality. Like, all right, source or God, like where is it? Like, show me something. And all of a sudden, I got somebody put me on a video call or like a YouTube channel called Spirit Science.
Mm.
And it was like a little cartoonish little animation thing, but it was talking about a lot of different. I didn't know at the time what even metaphysics was, but like the metaphysics is talking about, like crystals and chakras and how the story of Jesus really was more like a story, like a symbolic story, like
Yeah.
different little things like that. So I'm like, all right, let me, and that kind of like was like the explode moment. But even with them bringing up crystals, like what really hit it for me is right after that, you know what I'm saying, I end up in an area I would always pass through. They had this little look like a little gift shop, and I'm like, bro, let me go check out what's in this gift shop, you know what I'm saying, see what's
Yeah.
up. And I walked in there, man, and I'm seeing different little crystals all over the place. And I'm like, I never seen this shit before. I'm like, who sells? Like, I see rubies
Exactly.
and rings and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to seeing, again, crystals as jewelry in essence, like not just like loose pieces out. And I'm like, damn, they got nothing but
Yeah.
crystals. And when I walked in the place too, I'm like, I low key felt like my energy. I'm like, damn, it feels different when I walk
Yeah.
up in here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and like I got my first little crystals. One of them was a chevron amethyst I called Dino, and a piece of unakite that I named Margaret because unakite reminded me of like a old person's wallpaper. So like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but, and from there, you know what I'm saying, it just kind of I started noticing the synchronicities with it. So even from coming across the crystal shop for the first time to the point where I'll be going through something and I just go to the shop and just like I'm gonna just pick whatever I kind of just see I'm vibing with and then pick it. And it's exactly what's best for me in the moment, you know, as I go research later of what the properties are, you know, and I'm like, all right, this has to have some type of alignment. And again, when I saw just up and I say saw when I experienced the energy, you know, and felt the energy, you know, of the crystals and what I was about to say is also Moldavite making me even a stronger believer as far as like feeling the energies of crystals, you know, because again, like I came across a Moldavite and that really, really like let me know like, dang, all right, like it's even hard to go to sleep around this crystal, you know, it's so high vibrational. So, you know, picking up on the vibes like that and
Yeah, yeah. Around like you know, as soon as like the spark of last year, 2020, like the 5G start coming, and you know, I start hearing about 5G. It's like, all right, it just, and then I just dived into some research on just radiation period. So I definitely have blue light, you know, blue light. Some on all my devices, I have you know, radiation shields on like my TV, on my laptop right now. Like, yeah, so.
mm,
I just
yep,
looked
yep.
into crystals period and I dived into like the EMF radiation protective crystals and you know, and then I just kept diving into some more. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of good crystals out there, you know.
Right, right. As a matter of fact,
Even
yeah, I think when you said the EMF, I thought about Shungite, you know.
Shungite, I got some Shungite. And
Yep, yep,
yeah, yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot of them. It's a lot out there, and you know, and I even got some that you can actually put in your water too. I'm hip to that too. Like, yeah,
yep. The elixirs, yep, yep. I do put them in my water, I put them in the again in bath water, under the pillows, you know what I'm saying, during meditations, you know, the different and just speaking because I know you most likely know about this, but just speaking to, you know, everybody
exactly.
watching, you know, it again, and also it's like following your intuition with tapping in with them, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
again, there are certain aspects of like, hey, to clear your crystals, you know, you do this and do that.
yeah,
But as you grow, you start to how I say find your own relationship because again your magic is how you make it, you know, like a lucky ring is your lucky ring because you made it your lucky ring. So
exactly.
it's how you tap in with the crystals. Like I tell everybody, they're gonna give off the energy that they give off, but it's also like your intentions with it and you know and how you connect. Like if a voice tell you put the crystal outside by the oak tree, that you know then shit, that's probably what you should do. You know what I'm saying? Like again, like that's why I always leave it open as far as like when I share information, just always keep in mind that your intuition overrides whatever I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? At the
Exactly.
end of the
It's that
day,
gut,
you know what I'm
it's that
saying?
gut
Like,
feeling. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Because when I dived into so yeah, like because when I dived into it, and then it also helps me through meditation. And I even started sleeping with my crystals. And yeah, one time I feel like I like levitated a little bit. It was kind of good. It's kind of a dope experience, you know, just spiritual, man. You know, what how did you get hip to the chakras? Because you know, I got hip to the chakras like a couple years ago. I'm not hip to yoga yet. You know, people say yoga is pretty good for the body, and yeah, I'm not hip to yoga. Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. But how did you dive into the chakras? And
The chakras. Let's see, what was the first little piece of literature? I I may not be able to recall. Well, I just said it earlier because that is the first piece of literature in essence that opened me up to it was the video Spirit Science.
here's something.
And then and then from there, and that's what I tell people too, as long as you got a thirst for knowledge and a thirst for it and you affirm like, hey, source guide me to the truth or whatever, you'll find that you're just gonna run into these books and stuff like that. But I remember around that part of my growth, I was in Baton Rouge and I most likely found like a little book in LSU bookstore. But I as far as like just generally coming across them, as far as for awareness, not learning about them, just awareness of them
Yeah,
was the video. But as far as a book concerned, let's see. Cause I'm more so audio, so I know I watched a lot of videos. I probably went through found some Bobby Hemmett, dug up some
I'm glad you
Bobby Hemmett
brought
or
up Bobby Hemmett. Yeah,
Yep, Bro C Freeman L videos or something like that. Man, I can't do my brother. Even though you know we all continuously grow on the vibes, you know, can't do my brother Infinite Waters like that. Also, learn a little something from Infinite kind of help
yeah,
spark things. But as far as again, you see, bro, I go on a tangent. What what was the question again? Oh,
yeah.
chakra.
Overall chakras. Like, what was your first experience like with it? Cause I didn't realize it all these years. I feel like everybody realized it, like the goosebumps. People get goosebumps. That's a way of your chakra talking to you. I didn't realize it, till like diving into it a couple years ago. Yeah.
So for me, with dealing with my chakras, I feel like a certain like it don't feel like a pain like that, but I just feel something in the area of where that chakra at,
Hmm.
as if, you know, especially again, if I'm being triggered by something, like it's kind of like let me know, like not only you being triggered, but this has to deal with your solar plexus and your confidence right here. Or
Mm,
I go through something and I feel like a little pain in my heart or something. You know, I go through something and I feel like a little lump in my throat, and I'm like, all right, just some throat chakra stuff right here. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So kind of like, you know, feeling it, and then doing the research, because that's what I value, learning like what a overspinning chakra, you know, what's this the symptoms of an overspinning chakra, what's the symptoms of an underspinning chakra, and what's the symptoms of a balanced chakra. And once I started kind of peeping out that game too, it became easier and easier just to kind of just peep myself. Because anytime, like say for instance, anytime I'm like usually leaning towards wanting to be extreme on my reading and wanting to
Yeah.
stay up late at night, you know, I'm like, all right, my first eye overspinning, you know what I'm saying? A little bit, you know, like it's kind of leaning that way, because whenever you get into that insomnia or, you know, kind of staying up, you know, so it's just again, like I learned those different aspects, and that kind of helped to maintain. And as far as like with certain meditations, I would like visualize, you know, certain the colors. Like I would close my eyes, and what I would do in my visualizations, I would envision myself inside my body.
Hmm.
So like if I'm working on my sacral chakra and I'm sitting in the lotus or whatever, or sitting down, however, like I envision myself sitting in the lotus inside to where like it feels like my navel is in front of me, you know, and
Mm.
I'm literally in my, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
on that type of vibe. Like I try, I do my best to be creative with my visualizations, you know, because I realize how much visualizations help.
Oh yeah.
And I had to remember too, like with speaking of pains and certain chakras, to not run away from it, to actually like, all right, I'm about to put my attention on you, you know, with unconditional acceptance, you know, because usually what'll happen if I don't, you know, it's kind of like, oh, pain, let me go do something, let me go do something to cope, or try to, you know, not acknowledge what's going on. It's like, you know, like acknowledge that the
Yeah.
pain is here, understand, you know, and again, and understand where it's coming from, like where it's triggered. And for myself, realizing, because a lot of stuff is about solutions, you know, just the simple aspect of bringing it into awareness and being more observant of it without judgment. The more and
Yeah.
more you could observe it without judgment, aka respond, you know, better, it shifts how it shows up in your reality, in essence, you know.
Yeah. You said overspending and underspending. Like, yeah. So elaborate a little bit more on that, because I could definitely share some takes on that. Yeah.
Like say for instance, underspinning root chakra, you may really lack vitality, be lethargic, you know what I'm saying? Probably be kind of fearful in that sense, you know, or
Mm.
kind of, you know, that type of vibe. And then overspinning, you may have like a strong like sense of like her, like where it's too,
That's
it's like
fire. Yeah, blazing,
you
blazing too much. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like Aries, Leo, all the fire
Hey,
signs,
Sag, Team Sag over here.
all right. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Yeah,
Capricorn, Capricorn sun sign, but yeah, right. That fire, you know what I'm saying, builds up,
yeah,
but
yeah. Even with me, shoot, I started this podcast like if I did the artwork and set up the whole like the account like 5 a.m. like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So I was definitely overspending, like you were saying. I was in the zone, man. Yeah,
because even just now, like I'm catching myself as I'm like, like, yep, I'm paying attention to certain little things for myself, but because memory is also a part of the first eye aspect too. But like what you say, bro, you said starting with your channel, it kind
oh
of had
yeah,
like an overspending.
oh yeah. That's how I started. I started my channel like 5 a.m. 5 in the morning. I launched it. Like I set it up at 5 in the morning. It's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
bro, that's how mine wasn't late at night, but it was literally like one day I'm sitting on my bedroom porch and I'm like, bro, you know what? Other than just doing freestyles on this channel, bro, I'm about to start doing something on this channel.
yeah,
I didn't even know what necessarily yet, and then
yeah,
next thing you know, about 5 or 6 videos later, things kind of went from there. So yeah, like you said, and that's what kind of taught me the knowledge, the vibrate aspect. Is like, right now, like we could try to find a little perfect moment for it, but it's about tapping into it in the moment.
yeah. So you say you do music too? How long
Yep,
you been
yep,
doing
yep.
that? How long you been doing music?
With music, honestly, bro, I have been kind of like with the truly recording vibe. Like I just kind of been dealing with it a lot more as of recent. But
Mhm.
like I always been musically inclined, like, since my younger days. And like with actually doing music, I don't play any instruments or anything. Well, except for get my skills up on the harmonica. But
I, yeah,
but as far as like doing music, man, like I just always been great at like freestyling, and freestyling in the genuine sense of things, in the sense of not reciting something that I already wrote or something, like just
yeah,
boom in the moment, in the
yeah.
moment.
Off the top of
And,
the yeah,
and I would always be around, like, like a lot of some of my brethren, either they didn't have a studio or doing their own music or something like that. So I always was able to kind of be close to the environment, on some level. But even now it's like transmuting the shyness with being in the booth and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah,
continuously just staying on it, because I know it's like the habit. So it's like, all right, build a habit of it so it doesn't feel so strange to you, whenever you're stepping into it. But again, like as far as what I got out right now, like I only have like my one song, Meditate on that. And then I was featured on my Brethren Jazz Bandito track. Shout out to Jazz Bandito, Vibrate, you
mm,
know. So we
yeah.
got that song. And right now I'm actually working on some things. Matter of fact, I caught myself. I don't want to say nothing about what I just, but I'm working on some
Yeah,
things, man. I'm working on some
yeah.
things, for sure.
Oh yeah, man. It's all about frequencies. People think, we could like I talked about it a couple episodes ago. Like, yeah, we could put good things in our body, but it's all about the frequencies. We putting bad things into our eye gates. Salute to my OG JF Clay. We putting bad things into our eye gates and our ear gates. That throws off our vibrations, our chakras, and all that. People don't realize that, and some people still don't know about the chakras. You know, um, but yeah, man, even the earth have chakras, man. It's
That
you know, and
part.
shoot, don't get me started on like the portals too. Like, hey, it's a lot of information out here people don't know about, man.
Hey, look, when you say that, I thought about I had a little download about the little regions of Earth too. Like I'm like, all right, in Louisiana, with the weather, I'm like, out here, the elements, like if this was Avatar, the last Airbender, you know, people who work with water and fire energy, aka steam energy, would like, you know, would thrive out here, you know, or earth element. But somebody dealing with the air element, like, and literally it translates like that because air deals with intellect and words. And we one of the places that's known for not being too quick on the intellect and slow draw on the words, you know, air element. And it's humid. And humidity means the wind is not blowing. It's just hot,
That's deep.
hot.
So I gotta get into like a California, Atlanta, because I'm a fire sign. I need it.
All
I
right, yeah,
gotta go.
California, because California is as fire and air. California is a like, and matter of fact, it's another thing too. Louisiana is more of like a feminine because it has its fire aspect due to the sun shining, you know, pretty decent out here, but there's more water and earth, you know what I'm saying? I'd say, but in out west, it's fire and air because the air, you're in the mountains, you know what I'm saying? So it's higher altitude, so that air moving quickly, you know what I'm saying? That thought realm, you know, oh, I got this idea. I'm about to write this for Netflix. I'm trying to go to how to.
Yeah, it's dope. Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
man.
And sunlight, not only you got the gold rush or the gold being underneath your feet, but also the sun constantly shining on you. So it's just like solar plexus energy, you know what I'm saying? Just permeating all day. And again, that's why I realized like, oh shit, like I gotta understand again, because it's about understanding myself. How do what's me in the West Coast relationship? Not how everybody else deal with the West Coast, but
Exactly.
how me and the West Coast can have this relationship with each other. Cause I wanna you know what I'm saying, have a relationship with the West Coast.
Yeah, you want
But
to go. Yeah,
again, but I was going about it, you know, and be real with you. And I ain't say going about it, it was a part of my growth, you know what I'm saying? But having to learn from experience, you know, being out there and dealing with the energies and seeing it for myself and like, all right, I could, you know, get up to speed with this guy, learn a little bit more, but like I'm loving the environment, you know, like I love the beach and being in the mountains and you know the
hmm
sunlight. And like a lot of people say, man, you know, the weather out there is manufactured this and that may be true.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it seemed like it's true, you know what I'm saying? But at
Yeah,
the end of the day, you know, you can't, you know, the sunlight a lot, you know, again, but and that's the thing though, you gotta know your own balance. It's like, all right, the sun shining all the time, it creates that like again more sun sign-ish energy, you know.
yeah,
So like if I'm a person that has, you know, like if I'm a Leo that has problems with my pride getting away too much, then I gotta be aware of myself when I'm in California, you know what I'm saying? Because
oh
I could
yeah,
get super, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's like also peeping because like again it's just little archetypes, as above so below, as within
exactly.
so without, you know. For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
And I
man.
don't I don't want to go on a rant.
Oh, no, no, you good. Yeah, people, you know, you said understand. People gotta, you know, understand, you know, the energy. You know what I'm saying? It
Right,
was
right,
great.
right.
Just play some words, yeah, man, and yeah, and people don't realize, and I didn't realize it till once again, like last year, about you know the birth charts and how many technically signs we actually have, or
Mhm.
you know, the risings and the sun, you know, so yeah, like I realized I do have a little bit of earth and then, you know, some air, and then I got some earth in me as well as fire. But fire is more dominant, of course, but you know, I got a little bit spring. I got some Aries in me. Yeah, I mean, Aquarius in me, Pisces. You
All
know,
right.
yeah. So I got a little
So,
bit of everything. Yeah,
and I was gonna say, and a dope thing to do too with your natal chart, so as you're bringing up that, see what element, you know, like what's the ratio of elements in your chart, and that I
yeah.
also know like kind of like what's your magic in essence, you know, like because in my chart is a lot more water, you know,
Mm.
than it's water first, then I think fire. Matter of fact, I got it right here just to. Yep, it's water, and then earth and fire is tied at second, and then I don't have no air element. Only thing dealing with air would be more so with my houses, but as far as like the natal chart with the planets,
Hmm.
like no air elements, just all, again, water is the main thing, and then earth and fire. And again, that's why it's showing me again, like, all right, that's my magic. So what's a place that I need to have a connection with in order for my magic to thrive in? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean, again, just because my magic thrive in this area, I gotta only live here. Like, no, you could move around, travel, you know what I'm saying? Like, do whatever. Is just understanding, again, that our, like, bringing up the astrological chart in connection with the elements, is also connected to our locations and stuff like that. And again, going back to the earth having chakras and connecting with that energy.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it gets deep, and find out this information. Like, yeah, and you mentioned Bobby Hemmett, man, and I'm a student of Bobby Hemmett, man. I love this
Yeah,
content, man. He be breaking it down, man. He's talking about
right.
the the Terminator seeds, and yeah, man. He broke everything down, man. Definitely love that brother, man.
Nah, man, Bobby King, bruh, like, again, and put in that work, you know what I'm saying? And what was dope about him, though, and that's what I realized. I'm like, bro, he has so much, like, book references, you know, like, bro, like, oh, this book such and such, go check out this book such and such, such and such,
Yeah.
because preparing to sit here for this video, as I was writing some like some little book names and stuff like that to remember. I'm like, damn, it's like a lot of these was referenced by Bobby Hemmett on some vibes, and especially some that kind of gave me a lot of clarity too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and diving into the overall characteristics of my chart, pretty much, I pretty much picked up. I'm a true independent, pretty much. Just just an indie man. I'm an indie type of individual. People wonder why. Hey man, where you been? It's like, hey man, I was chilling with myself, man. It's like I definitely learned that I like my space, and even because some people don't understand who you are, and when you find out who you truly are, like, hey, this is who I am. Like, they can't understand it. I gotta get over here.
Right,
It's like,
right, right,
you
right, right,
understand who
right.
I am. It's like, hey, I
Because
need more time. It's like, hey, I don't. Yeah, yeah.
bro, look, I'm definitely on that vibe, man. Because that's what even being like for right now, transitioning through my old hometown right now, it's like, having to make sure the boundaries is extra, firm, because there's a lot of those old vibrations that try to, pop up and this and that. And it's having a balance with it, it's like not being so uh like about it, but definitely like firm, you know what I'm saying? And like, hey, y'all, I don't even vibe the way I use, like, I stay to myself,
Oh
like, I
yeah.
don't like, and I'm an honest person. I always been like that. So I always just hit the people with that honest fact and like, hey, bro, this is how I vibe. And if you can't, y'all know me, bro. If you don't vibe with it, then that means you ain't meant to be in my realm. Like, you know what I'm saying? If
Exactly.
you can't understand and love me for me want my space, then then you must be on some other type of, what I'm saying, some other type of shit.
Yeah, yeah, man. And one of my favorite. Yeah, I definitely agree, man. Because me in this journey, through spirituality. Yeah, I'm finding more things out about myself. Like, yeah, like, all right, y'all still doing that? You still drinking alcohol? You messing up your vibrations? Hey, man,
Mhm.
hey, I love you, brothers. I can't do it. Like, I know too much now. It's like,
Right, 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 right.
yeah. Even reading, like, Don't Take Things Personal. One of my favorite go-to books. Always go
Hmm.
dive into it. The Four Agreements. Always dive into it. And I realized talking with people like, oh dang, they messing up my Four Agreements, man. I can't. Man, I'm gonna make an assumption. I asked all the questions I could. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
sometimes I just went in. Like, sometimes you can't help it. Certain interactions happen for a reason, and sometimes you gotta let it fly. Sometimes, man, it's that
Right,
fire in me.
right, right. And a lot of those situations is for us to be okay with quote unquote mistakes and slip ups,
Oh yeah,
it's like to show us like, hey, you're gonna be able to manage this tightly, but this stuff is still gonna, reoccur, and you're gonna have to be able to,
Yeah.
deal with it and love yourself if you do quote unquote make a mistake.
Yeah, man. And for agreements, checking out this cat Alan Watts, diving into his stuff, man. He
Yeah,
he, he
yep.
got some gems out there. Yeah.
Alan Watts definitely him, and I used to do a little bit of Terrence McKenna too,
Mm, okay.
but
Yeah.
more so from the psychedelic perspective, but but Alan Watts, yeah.
Yeah, man. Shoot. I guess dive into a little bit more of your like your journey. Like what sparked it? What sparked your chain of thought to change? Like, yeah, this ain't right. We've been going the wrong way. Like, what sparked that change?
Uh it always been in me since a little kid. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? I always was looking around like, all right, what's up with this realm? Is more to this realm than everybody's saying. Everybody talking and doing shit, but nobody talking about what the fuck is real. Like, why nobody could tell me why my consciousness is in my body? Why nobody could tell me that I could hear my thoughts, but I don't know where the shit coming from? Like, like, and I used to ask myself, one of the main things too, I would ask myself is like, why is my consciousness in my body? Like, why I'm not the brother of my partner at elementary school, why I wasn't born into his family, like,
mm,
and just questioning, stuff like that. And again, moving further, my family, Roman Catholic,
mm.
so what got me with that was like a confession. I'm like, I'm always talking to source. Like, how can you say I'm talking to God, and then tell me like, oh, but you gotta go say your sins to this man or whatever,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's like,
and
man, yeah,
and honestly, that, and I always make that joke, like, that's when the record skip with me and with me and grown-ups, in general a lot. It's
yeah,
like, all right, I see that grown-ups be supporting things that don't be making sense,
yeah,
so I realize whether I show it to them or not, I gotta find that way of finding out what it is for myself, even stronger.
yeah,
But again, always being aware upon my growth. But what really like like snapped it into like the real change was, again, back when I had this dark night of the soul connection, and I told you about connecting with the video spirit science. I was working at a piping company, and that was getting pretty tough. And my grandmother transition, my pops transition. I'm like,
mm,
damn, source. I'm like, man, I'm a big hearted, like my heart bigger than bro. I'm like, what, what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, what's going on through this thing? You know what I'm saying? And even with, and this was how really, and this one I know I was serious too, because I laughed at this to myself. I'm like, bro, I'm so serious about this that even though I know the religion or how people deal with the Catholic or the Bible is,
yeah,
B, BS to some extent, not from a judging place, but but I'm like, even though it's like that, I'm still gonna sit here and listen to this Bible and see what I could find in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to
exactly.
the Bible at work, and then as I'm listening to the Bible again, come across somebody who hit me to the spirit science video, and from there it started sparking. But again, just as far as like always feeling like it was more to life, even just the general aspect of how much I would question life was kind of showing me it was more, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, it's just
Yeah,
it's not enough answers here. And I'm wondering, like, all right, because and also I was noticing my empath energy without having a name for it. I'm like, I could just feel that. I could feel the energy. I feel like what people was feeling, in the room, and wondering why. Because I had to realize too, I think a little bit of part of my joking energy, or just like clowning and joking,
yeah,
is naturally me, but a lot of it sometimes pops up to like deflate, my like when I'm empathically feeling something strongly, like to deflate that energy, you know what I'm saying? So as a youngster, a little kid, I would probably be the person in any situation to probably make a joke when stuff get a little tense or something like that, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like so, you know, it kind of
Yeah.
was present, but again, it since younger days, my brother, I'll be kept questioning strongly, like, you know, what God is and like what's my purpose here, like what, you know, what am I doing, where does my conscience come from? Of course, what happens when I transition, or at that time we're saying what happens when you die, you know, but
Yeah, and even to relate to you, like yeah, my recent uncle, he passed away a couple weeks ago, and me being being aware, it's like man, yeah, his energy is elsewhere. Like his physical ain't here no more, you know, but his energy is elsewhere. And sometimes I think about it, he could, if he's not with the ancestors, sometimes his energy, is reborn again into a new soul, into
right, right,
a new being, into a new yeah. So me think about that, and then like with the church thing, yeah, I grew up church. I got baptized like second grade, man.
all
It's
right,
like
all right,
I was
dip
failing
in
ill
that
because
water.
the thing is like I was always in fights. I was always in fights, always active, with the hands, and I always spoke my mind. As a kid, like I was reading, I was reading stuff I wasn't supposed to be reading, like this film called Jackass, like popped up on the screens, like, hey, Jack, I was like, hey, don't you say that, Cedric? Like, it's like,
Right,
hey,
right,
sorry,
right,
man.
right.
Like, I was always doing stuff like, and then again as a youngin, like I took a bobby pin for some reason. I was just chilling, like, man, what does bobby pin do if I put it in this outlet? What happens?
Right,
and I
right, right.
and then I burnt my goddamn hand. I found out. So yeah, I was running through the hallway. Like, yeah, I had to, I was always I'm always a question, like just naturally growing up, I always did things and questioned things, not knowing. But yeah, definitely got to question the Bible, question that, found out a lot about that, Constantine and all that. Like, and then
Right, right.
still love my parents, he always posting everything, posting everything to do with Church of Christ every day. It's like, hey man, dang, it's like, hey man, you don't know the Bible yet? It's like you've been Christian longer than me, but hey, I love you, Pop.
Right, right.
But yeah,
Man, look.
man. Yeah, man. Comfort is definitely dangerous. And some people love the program, and some people don't understand like what's the problem with this program? Like, hey man, something wrong, man. Like,
You're right.
I don't see the problem. I like this channel. It's like, I love
Look, it's,
BET. It's like,
you know,
yeah,
I joke about it, but yeah, it's like again, like the cow, you know, like some of us are the cows that know that there's a slaughterhouse, you know, and it's like, bro, like, oh no, we just, you know,
yeah,
like no, you know what I'm saying? But again, I see where it is where, you know, we just have to be a beacon and share the message with those who have open ears, you know.
exactly.
Like, you know, you can't, you know, it's like beating a dead horse, like, you know, we're trying to forcefully wake up people because as we speaking on that, you know, I'm transmuting that in the moment right now is to like, you know, understand like, bro, you're not gonna save everybody in the hood, you know, you're not gonna
Yo,
like that is
on
not
my second podcast, I shared it to my grandma. She was just laughing at me. It's like, yo, I'm channeling Marcus Garvey. Like, why you laughing? And then I noticed she got serious and she started listening. Like, all right, she taking me serious now. All
right,
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 she
right, right.
getting what I'm saying. Yeah, but at first she was just laughing. Like, dang, grandma. This is like I was in my ego. Was like, man, this is messed up, man. This is like,
So so like you was channeling Marcus Garvey and she was like not believing you, but then you know it kind of come in on the vibe of like, all right, I feel like you
yeah,
know you're doing something. And honestly, that's the thing too. I realized though, like, and that's the balance that I have because like I realize a lot of people are waking up in the hood. You know what I'm saying too? Like it's not like no you know, no vibe of like it is all toxic in a general sense because of what it has been allowed to be systematically or whatever the case may be, you know, but there's still people who are becoming aware of self, you know, on high levels, even in these conditions and in these neighborhoods, you know, too. So
yeah.
and I guess that's what it is. But